Have you ever wondered why pirates wear so many belts, or even why they are so huge? It turns out the purpose of their belt isn't to hold their pants up. It's wide because they need a back support, and then also to hold lots of things around their waist, probably like a sword among other things. So, to complete Harry Hook, I worked on his pants and his two belts. This is how they turned out. I had no idea where to even start. There were so many things happening around his pants and his belt. So I sketched out what I'm going to make first. First is the skull belt. I made his buckle using polymer clay and the strap using black electricity tape. I made 12 teeny-weeny skulls to adorn his buckle. They are too small to do much, so I made 2 holes to represent the eyes on essentially a ball. I baked them. I painted them silver, added a loop to hold the belt, pierced the strap for the holes, which are only there for the looks anyway, painted the holes gold, cut the strap to the right size, and then the belt is done. Harry must be very fond of this skull belt because he wore this belt in both Descendants 2 and 3, so it must have a lot of meanings to him. That or it's just very comfortable. Pirates wear a thing called a belt and a frog. A frog is essentially a strap that holds the sword. Harry's not wearing a frog with his belt, which is probably the reason why he wears a second belt. It has a lot of rings. After all, if your weapon is a hook and not a sword, lots of rings to hook your hook is probably better than a frog. To make his second belt, that he wears quite low on his hip, I used a strip of black electricity tape for the strap, which is cut exactly to his size. Then I put a hole on both ends, which is connected using a small piece of bent stainless steel wire. This way, the belt can be opened and secured to his waist just like a real belt. Then I made 16 rings from a piece of stainless steel wire to adorn his belt. Those rings could look better had I owned a better plier, but I will just have to do this way for now. I will eventually invest in better tools if I end up doing this a lot. To make those studs, I made little tiny balls using polymer clay, and then painted them gold, and then glued them to the belt. I made them as small as possible, but they looked so big on the belt. And then it's time to make that patch, which I have no idea what's going on. It might have been a bridge which got modernized, because the patch looked a little too short, but then it's too long to be a bridge. So it might be a patch, which means I have no idea. I started out with a pair of jeans that I made for these dolls a long time ago. I cut out a small piece of fabric with black and red tartan patterns and then glued them to the pants. I sewed black embroidery thread on the front to make that texture, and then cut out strategically to show the red fabric underneath. To make the knee ring straps, I cut out some electricity tape, cut them into 5 strips, and then braided them. And then I made more rings, and attached the rings to the straps, and then glued them to the pants. But before I glued them, I painted the bottom half of the pants with silver paint. I have no idea what's going on there. It looks like pockets, but not pockets. Some kind of a polyester material that looks shiny, but I can't be certain. They look torn. There might be multiple layers of something happening, but I can't be certain. So I simplified this entire area by painting them silver. And then covered up the area with more of those embroidery thread. It was to create that torn texture. And then I dabbed some silver and blue paint all over these threads to give a little more grungy feel. And then I added more straps here and there. And of course, more straps with rings. And overall, this is how the pants turned out. I still don't know if I want to cut them short or just leave it long, but I kind of like the look of long pants. We're almost done. We still have to work on his gloves, his hook, and his jacket charm. It's a shame that these pants will rarely ever be shown on videos. If I ever make videos with this doll, the pants rarely ever appears in my story videos. But I think the pants add a lot to his look. Thanks for watching!